wonderful.
Yes.
Just
Oh,
just like we
fun?
rehearsed it.
Yeah.
We didn't rehearse any of that stuff. We're just messing with just a blues and E for those of
I
you.
like that long one on the blues and E. though.
There you go.
That
We
was
had
fun.
a kind of a.
I
I thought I'd stay there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Wow, Bart, this is the first time we've actually kind of had to do a little bit of an interview and
Yeah.
get to know each other with that way. How did you get started playing guitar?
My dad made me do it.
Where are you from?
Here, well, just north of here. I was born in Baptist Hospital, so I was
Mm-hmm.
born in Nashville. And then grew up in Greenbrier, Tennessee, which is where I still am. I'm in the house that my dad built in 1978 for me to grow up in, and I get to raise my 4-year-old daughter in it.
Wow.
So family's really big in my end, but dad was a guitar player, all around musician. He was drafted in the Marine Corps, and so he wanted to create somebody to play with because we lived out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I took it a little farther than he expected, you know. But yeah, my dad wanted somebody to play with, so that's kind of where it all started.
So did he teach you how to play?
Yep.
Did you have lessons along the way? Did you have any sort of formal training?
Yep, all of the above throughout the travels. But yeah, my dad started me when I was 4. And there's like videos of me playing his Martin guitar where that's all you can see, you know. Like I'm reaching over the edge playing Wipeout and crying because I wanted to play football instead at the same time. Yeah. I don't want to do it. And then so he did that from 4 to 5, and at that point he wanted to find somebody that was more professional teacher to go. So I took me up to the local music store, and it was Marlin's Music, which is still around, which is now Springfield Guitar in Springfield, Tennessee. Wow. But he's still teaching lessons. He's still one of the best dudes. He got me started in bluegrass and all that. So I was 5, and he didn't take anybody till they were 6. And I always say it was a God-given talent. Music was to me. Everything just kind of made sense since the day my dad showed it to me. Yeah. And so he turned us down. He was like, I don't take anybody until they're at least 6, you know. And he was like, well, you mind just listening to him play first, you know? And so he gave me the guitar, and I played a little bit. And he was like, all right, come on back. So he started teaching me, and I did that for quite some time. And
that's primarily acoustic and bluegrass at this point.
Yeah, and until I was probably 13-ish, somewhere in there was where I learned about Stevie Ray Vaughan and electric guitars. Yeah. Before that was all bluegrass. And then my dad would get instruments and bring them home and figure out how we could play them, you know. So he'd have banjos and mandolins and dobros and all the things, you know. Wow. So that was a big blessing right there, just being able to learn different musics and kind of learn correlations between instruments. Yeah. You know, that all kind of related to the guitar in different ways, you know. Yeah. Yeah. And then fast forward a lot after doing the rest of high school and stuff, I went to college as an operatic vocal major.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was my thing too. Like I had a full ride scholarship, and
where were you going?
Austin P in Clarksville.
Really?
Yep. I was a vocal performance major, string bass performance major, orchestral upright with a bow, and a composition minor and a guitar performance minor.
Wow. And you're doing opera stuff.
Yeah, my plan was to finish that and move to Germany and be an opera singer. That was my game plan.
My son is the conductor of the Belmont Opera.
No
Belmont
kidding.
University Opera.
That's awesome.
So opera's a big thing in our world.
I still love it to this day. My problem was in college I found the blues jam and figured out that beer and cigarettes were more fun than tuxedos. So took a sharp left turn and long road, but you know.
And so along the way you've played with, you know, some amazing people along the way.
Yeah, I've really honestly gotten to share the stage with majority of my heroes that were still alive coming up. I've gotten to open for BB 4 or 5 times. First time that happened blew my mind. I was coming off stage and he was coming up to it and he said, "You sounded good, son. You sounded good." And I was like,
"Hey, that's high. That's a high compliment."
I was like, "You invented what I do." you know. You know. So it was mind-blowing. But yeah, him, Buddy Guy, now playing with Hank, which was kind of my third hero
Hank
in
Williams
life.
Jr.
Yep. He was my third hero in life. It was my dad, my granddad, and then Hank. So being able to come full circle on that one's pretty cool too.
How did you get started with the Hank Williams Jr. job?
That started in my blues world with Jimmy Hall. He's
Hall.
of Wet Willie and has his own solo stuff, and he plays harp and saxophone for Hank. And he was kind of my mentor coming up in the Nashville blues scene. I loved his voice. We have similar-ish voices. His is way better than mine, but we're similar. And so he was kind of my mentor coming up for years. And a friend of mine, Derek Phillips, which is an incredible drummer, was drumming for Hank at the time. And they were about to make a switch, and somebody said, "Hey, you need to call Jimmy Hall because he's the MD or band leader, one of the two." Even though I'm there, I can't remember which one's which.
Because you're currently playing with Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah. We just unloaded the trailer, finished off the 2023 tour this past weekend in Durant, Oklahoma. So we unloaded the trailer, and now my house is full of way too many guitars and gear. It's, the rest of the year is okay. I don't look like such a guitar hoarder because there's some on Jamie's trailer and there's some on Hank's trailer. And,
And you're also playing with T. Graham Brown these days.
Yep. I've been playing with T. Graham Brown for 7 years, somewhere in there. They've become like family to me, him and Miss Sheila. And, I love playing with him. He's a Christian dude and always, on the up and up. And to me, honestly, he's singing better than he was when he was having hits in the 80s and 90s. So that's another funny one. I'll be on the road with him and people will be like, "T, when did you move to town?" I moved to town in 82. I'm like, "Me too. I moved to town in 82. He's like, "Hey, where'd you move from?" I said, "My mama." I moved out of my mama belly.
There you go. And you also played a little bit with Double Trouble and the guys from Stevie Ray Vaughan's band.
Yeah, so the way that came about, Reese Winans was in my band, the Bart Walker band, who played keys for Stevie Ray Vaughan, in case y'all don't know that. He came in at the Soul to Soul record, I think. So before that was just Chris, Tommy, and Stevie. And it was coming up on the 20th anniversary of Stevie's death at Alpine Valley. And I was talking to Reese, and I guess he'd kind of been away from it. He's been in the Nashville scene so much and doing sessions and, playing with this band called Duck Butter, which was awesome. And just doing stuff around town. And I don't really know that he was touring with that many people at the time. And he just kind of lost touch with how much they had changed people's lives. That band changed the trajectory of millions of guitar players, and other people too, but specifically the guitar community. And so we were talking about it, and I was like, "Man, y'all got to do something to commemorate this. Like, it's been 20 years since that man's been gone, and he's still the best one, in my opinion, that ever walked the face of the earth." And he was like, "Oh, I don't know, Bart. Nobody wants to see that." And so I sat him down because I am a absolute Stevie nut. And had a stack of unreleased show DVDs this high, and I just sat him down at the house and put them on and was like, "You watch this. Just watch, y'all. When you didn't think anybody was watching, watch this." He was like, "Well, it was pretty good." He was more than pretty good. So anyway, he called Tommy and Chris to see if they could come up. And they did, and the first one we did at Third and Lindsley. I guess we did all of them at Third and Lindsley. But that was really what it was just a tribute to Stevie. And so all the guitar guys in town that Reese knew or whatever would always call him and be like, "All right, man, I want to do this song and this song." And we just put Double Trouble up there, and we all went and did it. And I think we did 3 or 4 of them. The last one, Kenny Wayne Shepherd came, and me and Kenny played majority of the night, and Mike Ferris sang most everything. And it was a good time. But that was the time I got to spend with them, was just paying tribute to what they did in my life,
Let's talk a little bit about your gear and that amazing guitar. Stephen, maybe we can get some close-ups of this guitar. What on earth is this?
This is a Lucky Dog. They're out of Cleveland, Tennessee, which is just outside of Chattanooga.
That is
named Anthony Sims.
Amazing.
That was so. I had been watching his guitars because his guitar builds they're great guitars and extremely functional and play great, but they're works of art. Like every single one of them is completely different. I mean, just the back grain on here. You can look at just how much time and effort goes in the flame on the back of this, which I've worn quite a bit away.
Beautiful.
But anyway, we were talking. Well, I'd been following him for a long time, and then my wife's cousin is a pastor down there in Cleveland, Tennessee, and called me and was like, "Hey man, there's this guy that goes to my church. He builds guitars, and you should check him out." I was like, "What's the name?" He said, "Lucky Dog." And I was like, "No way. I'm coming right down." You know? And we sat and talked for a while, and I told him, I said, "Man, if you could make me a guitar that looks like an Indian chief became a pimp in the 70s and this was his car." And he said, "I think I can do that." And I think he did it. I mean,
that is one of the most incredible instruments I've ever seen.
I mean, it's beautiful. All that turquoise is also outlined in that new age glow-in-the-dark stuff that lasts forever, too. Yeah. So, like, stage lights go out and you can still just see Bart Walker on the It's pretty ridiculous. But
take us a little bit through the sounds that you're able to get out of it.
Absolutely. Here's the neck, which is let me get it clean there. So it's a little fatter than a regular telly neck. It's not quite a humbucker. It's just a really overwound single coil. Not quite P90 in the mid-rangey stuff. It's still got that big fat bottom end. Still very telly-y, And then the middle I like for like funk stuff. You can really do anything with a telly, and it's so funny because everybody just thinks that all a telly does is like. But it's not true. Like, it's on some of your favorite records all the R&B records. You thought they were 335s or something. No, man, that's a telly, dude. Or a Strat. But it has. So, kind of skipped over a little bit. Real fat, beautiful neck pickup with just the standard stuff. I don't have any crazy wiring.
Just volume and tone.
And then, like I said, that middle. And then you got the regular. Regular old telly stuff.
Amazing.
And it's just a workhorse of a guitar. I love it.
One of the things that you did at our conference, I think not this past year, but the time before that, is we had a rhythm section, a whole band we were playing, and you were talking about the different styles that these wonderful players had and what kind of signature things that they did within that style.
Yeah.
Stevie Ray Vaughan used this type of pickup and used and Albert King used this to kind of go through some of the stylistic things of people that have made these main blues guitarists and what they did in their sound to get to some of the tones they were going for.
Yeah, absolutely. So the only ones that are hard, I have a Strat over there I can grab when we get to those guys, but a lot of it, Albert Collins used a telly, always with the humbucker in the neck. So the Iceman did all that kind of stuff. But like Stevie, being my most favorite, it's pretty sacrilegious of me to play Stevie on a telly.
Well,
it's about as wrong as, wrong stuff. But, just... I was watching the Will McFarlane one that you guys did, and he talked about his touch, if you remember talking to him about his tone. And he does. He's got that super smooth. Let the guitar do the work. Stevie is. He
was brutal.
Man, he was like Mike Tyson with a pick. You know what I mean? Like, just beating it. And him, also that guy, I don't remember who it was, that mentioned Albert King being, and that's such a huge Stevie influence with all those multi-string bends and stuff like that, which Albert was so good at them because he played left-handed and upside-down strung, so he was pulling. He was pulling like that, which if you notice when you pull down, that's not going to rip your fingernail away from your finger like it does when we do it, And you got to travel with a bottle of methylate, to put on there.
So just for everybody, because we're talking to a bunch of guitar players, on a double string bend like that. Illustrate that. Talk us through how they would do that.
So as you bend up, if you were to do, just say, which happens all the time in blues, right? That's very normal.
Okay, so what notes are you playing there?
I'm on the 7th, 6th, and 8th fret. So, right, I'm in the key of G.
Okay.
Somewhere in that pentatonics there. So we're here. Now, if you were to bend up, and you can, if you don't mute, you can always hear
a few other ones.
Yeah, you're getting those, even though you're not really wanting to.
Yeah.
But if you want to, you can just kind of lean your finger back a little more, and as you bend up, grab more. I'd normally do 3. So you're there. Just for a more gross, if you're really trying to get the gross point apart. That's how you need to do it,
There's a wail in there
Yeah,
that does.
That was very Albert. Just that. Stevie was more the.
Yeah.
But Albert was the.
Now, so Stevie Ray Vaughan. What about Jimmy Vaughan?
Jimmy Vaughn was a middle pick. These guys are so much easier on a Strat for me to do, but he was a middle pickup guy.
Yeah.
You can really get the Jimmy Vaughn tone out of a middle Strat
on a Strat.
Pickup. Yeah, middle Strat. Hang on just a second.
You want?
Yeah, let me swap real quick.
Yeah, you swap. I'll do some. I'll give something away. While our guest is getting ready, let's give something away. I've got a shirt here, a Groons shirt. Be the first on your block to have an official Groons shirt. The winner of this one is Dave Mercer. Dave Mercer, you have officially won a Groons shirt. Hey, Dave, can you tell us what size you are? So that would help. And then also send me, but tell us right now what size you are so I can make sure and grab the right size before we go home. And then
what's that, Dave? You wanted to give it to me? Oh, cool. Thank you.
There you go.
I appreciate that, man.
And then send me your information at service@guitargathering.com. What you won, screen name, mailing address, things like that. Dave, we'll get that out to you. So congratulations, Dave.
Way to go, Dave.
There you go. There you go.
It is a really cool shirt, too.
All right. While Bart is getting going here, I will do our little announcements on a couple of things. Actually, no. Let's talk about, while you're getting up and running, you've got a new guitar lesson site that you're putting together.
Yeah. It's been running now for about 2 months, and it's been really, really fun. I was doing a lot of one-on-one lessons to get me through COVID times mentally and emotionally. We weren't playing. So
you weren't on the road. You weren't playing.
Something to play with people. So I started offering one-on-one lessons, and that schedule filled up really quickly. And I was trying to figure out how I could scale it easier so I could handle and give to more people. Really. And this idea came up, and all the pieces fell into place, and so I launched Badass Guitar School. And it was funny enough. It was when the world seems to be in a bit of a different place these days, and it's left. A lot of my favorite things in life have gotten left behind. I was in the Army. My dad was in the Marines. So just being like masculine male and guitar stuff. The guitar hero has kind of like the era of that has fallen a bit. And so that was kind of my answer back to that. It was like, no, there's still some of us here. And so that was where the name came from. I go through. I'm working on a complete beginner course right now for just any of my friends. Turns out now I'm sitting next to the king of that. I didn't even know it.
I don't know about that.
But anyway, I did that, but I've got a lot of other like concept stuff.
Yeah.
You know, double stops or just different concept ideas, as well as a lot of bluegrass stuff. Because a lot of times for me, that was normally what I would do when I would take on a new student. I would ask them, do you want to be better at what you do on the guitar, or do you want to be the best guitar player you can be?
Yeah.
And if they said, I want to be the best guitar player you can be, I'd say, okay, put your telly down, go grab a guitar, an acoustic, and I'm going to teach you bluegrass. Because that's where you really, when you get away from all of this, in my opinion, you have nothing to hide behind. You're naked, just you and a guitar and a pick. And if you don't like it, everybody knows.
And if your technique isn't right, I mean, that's kind of where all of that starts.
And it puts a microscope on everything. So that's normally what I would do. And even if you don't want to become a bluegrasser or any of that stuff, I'm strictly doing it for the technique to get into your body, because it transfers to every other genre, no matter what you want to do.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that on there just to get that kind of going, and scale studies and whatnot. So it's going really good. It's been up for about 2 months now. Started doing some stuff on YouTube as well. So I have a Badass Guitar School channel there, and I have a 10% off code on that, on any of my YouTube videos from that too. So if you guys want to check it out, you can click on that link and save a little dollar.
Save a little dollar.
Save a little dollar.
I tell you what, before we get to finishing our illustration of all that stuff, let's hear some more music. Can you?
Oh yeah.
Can you play us a tune? Sing us a tune?
Oh yeah, for sure. How about I got this one I've been needing to record for a really long time, and I finally got around to doing it. I still haven't laid the vocal on it yet, but backstory on it is my wife is a music therapist, which is what I say is the smart version of me. I make people have fun, and then she fixes their life. And so she was working in town here at one of the hospitals, and had gotten to work at 6 o'clock in the morning and forgot something at home. So she called me, and I'd only gone to bed like 2 hours before that from coming from a gig. And so I had to get up, get her stuff, take it to downtown Nashville. I live out in the country, so it took me about a half hour to get there. And as I'm pulling up, man, this Mustang is driving at me. And it's not like, for me, I'm not really a Mustang guy anyway, but the 90s bubbly Mustang was the worst for me. I just really don't like it. And that's what it was. It was coming at me, and it had the flip-flop paint job. And it had wheels so big that you had to jack the car up just to get them underneath it, you know? And this is 6 a.m., you know? And I was like, dude, who is that driving this car at 6 a.m.? Like, people like us should be in bed. You know? And they get closer to me, and through the steering wheel, not over the steering wheel, but through the steering wheel, you could see this blue-haired granny driving this car. And I was just blown away. And so I grabbed my phone and made a voice memo and just went, "Granny's got a Mustang." And I threw it back. And so I dropped my wife's stuff off, went back home, and then wrote this song with my buddy Moochie, who I used to write all the time with. And so, yeah, this song's called Granny Got a Mustang. It's in A. It's pretty straight ahead. You'll be able to catch right on. But we'll just get started and see if I can remember the words. Was a 67 shiny piece of Detroit. Wait, sorry. So I don't like those Mustangs, so I wrote the song about a 67 Mustang. No. Sorry. Now we'll go again. So now you know I'm not lying out of the first verse. It was a 67 shiny piece of Detroit muscle. Low and mean, made a hustle and bustle. A 4-barrel sitting on a FRETBOARD 2. Red like the burning of a new tattoo. 4 on the floor, black leather bucket seats. Built to lay rubber up and down the street. You can hear her coming from a mile away. That fastback ain't moving too fast today. They're riding in a hand-knitted sweater. Riding in her badass grocery getter. Every head turn creeping in the fast lane. Oh, Granny's got a Mustang. Well, it takes her to bingo every Friday night. Brake lights shining at all the green lights. Traffic jam, she's ahead of the train. 20 miles an hour and it ain't even rain. You ain't never seen that much chrome in the parking lot of an old folks home. You can hear her coming from a mile away. That fastback ain't moving too fast today. Blue hair riding in a knitted sweater, riding in her badass grocery getter. Every head turning, creeping in the fast lane. Aw, Granny's got a Mustang. Something to see, parked every week outside the pharmacy. Box full of Kleenex and a TV guide, and a poodle riding shotgun along for the ride. You ain't never seen that much chrome in the parking lot of an old folks home. Now you can hear her coming a mile away. That fastback ain't moving too fast today. Blue hair riding in a hand-knitted sweater, riding in a badass grocery getter. Every head turning, creeping in the fast lane. Oh, Granny's got a Mustang. Every head turning, creeping in the fast lane. Oh, Granny's got a Mustang.
Yeah.
So
Wonderful.
There's Granny and her Mustang.
There you go. There you go. Wonderful.
Turns out I like that word a lot more than I thought. And the BA grocery getter, though, that's the kicker for me in that song.
Man, that Strat gets a great sound.
Yeah, I love it. It's a one that was made for me. My buddies out in Kansas City, well, Peculiar, Missouri, actually. This one is named Peggy Sue after a lady who has since passed. But Pete and Jake's Hot Rods, Jerry Slover runs that out there, and he's really good friends with the custom shop in Fender.
Gosh, it's gorgeous.
And yeah, it was the top was actually stolen from the guy that was building Robin Ford his guitar at the time.
Really? Yeah.
This one was built by Scotty Buell, who's like, they call him the Uber builder out there because he's the head of the master builders and all that stuff. And he's buddies with Jerry. And so behind my back, they were calling my buddy Jeremy Colas, who works for Advanced Plating, who does all the hot rod chrome in the world and does all the chrome for Fender and Gibson and everybody else. And they were calling him behind my back, asking him what I like in a guitar. And they put every single piece of my favorite Stratocaster together in one thing and surprised me with it in 2017, I think. Yep.
How amazing.
And so, yeah, this was a gift that I would have never been able to purchase myself, you know. I mean, to have that kind of a guitar. But it's a perfectly C-shaped, huge, chunky neck.
Good.
And just... yeah, this is. I was playing 13s on my electrics or on my Strats at the time, and it's really hard to intonate that heavy of a gauge. Because you can't get the saddles back far enough. And so they custom made this piece a little bit longer so you can intonate it better. And it's got a brass block in it, and I mean it's just like the hot rod, you know. But it does all the things, like all the classic. And then, but at the same time, it has like the perfect. You know, that quack is just like, it is the quack that you want, you know.
Which is tricky to get.
Absolutely.
Very tricky to get.
That Miss Abigail that been winding pickups there, and winds Clapton's pickups and Keith Richards pickups or whatever. She came out of retirement and hand wound the pickups. I mean, like it's a dream come true guitar that is just it's awesome.
Amazing.
I mean, I've really gotten to a place in my life where I don't understand why God's been so good to me. You know, and the guitars are just a side piece of that, but they're all the ones that I have now are just like the one I always wanted. You know what I mean? It's really cool.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll let you catch your breath here for a second. You've been playing and singing and all that. I wanted to let you guys know about a couple of different things we've got going on. Is that better? Can you hear me? Am I in? Oh, looks like I'm out of batteries.
You want to use my mic?
Sure. I'll use yours.
Got the old school kind over here.
There you go.
Changes that out.
That's all right. We got it. All right. This is good for announcements anyway. Okay. We've got our Fall Fingerstyle Guitar Retreat coming up. It is October 26th through the 29th out at Deer Run Retreat. So it's the perfect time of the leaves are changing colors here in Nashville, which is really pretty. And I wanted to do something different from our summer conference. You've been to our summer conference. It's big and loud and wonderful. But I want to do something different. So we started a few years ago doing a Fall Fingerstyle Guitar Retreat. It's small. We've got 24 slots that we can fill, and 21 of them have been filled. So there's only 3 slots left. So if you are interested in being part of our Fall Fingerstyle Guitar Retreat, we have got Thomas Lieb, a wonderful Austrian guitarist, is going to be with us. Walter Rodriguez Jr., great jazz fingerstyle guitarist, does a lot of hymns and things like that. Who else we got? Oh, fingerstyle champion Matt Thomas is going to be with us. Bill Cooley, legendary sideband for Kathy Mattea. And then I just booked, y'all don't even know, but I just booked 16-time Grammy-winning guitarist with Alison Krauss, Ron Block, is going to be there doing a workshop as well. So if you're interested, you can go to fingerstyleretreat.com, get all the information. Like I said, we've got 3 slots left. So don't wait, because this event has sold out the last several years. And so it's always a blast. So anyway, yeah, the last one to fall in was Ron Block this week.
Man,
so it's great. You're sitting on leather couches, with the world's best fingerstyle players, 5 feet from you. And it's a relaxed time. So if you're interested, check it out. You can get all the details at fingerstyleretreat.com. Wanted to also let you know, I know if you listen real carefully, can you hear it? The holidays are coming. I was in Lowe's, Home Depot, something the other day, and there's all the trees. I thought, man, it's September, and the trees are up. And but each year we do a Guitar Gathering Academy. And what that is we've done jazz ones, we've done Beatles one, that was fun. But we do hymns one around Easter, this one, and then we do over the holidays, we do a holiday one. So we are now getting ready for the Christmas one. So you can go to guitargatheringacademy.com. And that will get you all the information. Basically what happens, if you haven't been to one of these before with us, it's 4 weeks. We learn 4 songs in 4 weeks. So each week you will receive about an hour video from me of teaching. This time we're going to be doing It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. We're doing Silver Bells. We're doing Joy to the World. We're doing Away in a Manger. So I would take one of those. I would teach it to you. You'll learn the melody. You'll learn the chords. You'll get about a 15-page PDF with everything I'm playing, all of the arrangements. I usually try and give a couple of different solo guitar arrangements of it, written out in music notation and in tab, finger numbers, every stinking thing I can think of to help you learn the tune, we give you. And then you work on it, so the lesson comes to you on a Thursday. You work on it for the week, and then the next weekend, after a week and a half, we'll do a Saturday and then as well as a Monday night, a Zoom session where we're on there. So guys, you've been struggling with this song all week long. Let's go through it together. What are your questions? And so it's hilarious fun. We've done this for several years, and they're always great. So the link is up now for you to register and be with us for our Guitar Gathering Academy to learn some Christmas songs. So we basically do this all in November so that by the time Christmas and the holidays start, you've got some songs to play for the holidays.
Wonderful.
Solo guitar arrangements of these songs. You've learned the melody, you've learned the chords. So there's something for if you're just starting on your guitar learning journey, you just work on the melody, work on the chords. If you're more advanced, you can tackle the solo guitar arrangements of it. Anyway, lots of fun. And then you work on it for a week frantically, and then we do another one the next week. And so you got tons of material. It's great. So anyway, if you're interested, be mindful of that. I see that a couple of you guys have already given. Stephen, thank you so much for giving. Taylor, you gave a little bit earlier. I saw that. Thank you so much to support the work that we do there. We've got the Super Chat going there if you want to give through that. If you want to give through the PayPal, we've got a PayPal link there in the YouTube description as well. So you can help us out. All of that helps keep the lights, literally keep the lights on, except for here in Groons. But we still have to buy the lights. So there you go. Anyway, I think that's about all of my announcements that I need to make. So we can probably get back to learning, and then we'll give away some more stuff at the end.
Yeah, I think he's got your pack going.
You got my pack going?
It's,
okay.
On your mic.
There you go. All right. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Check. 1, 2. There, we're back. All right. Peg is saying the Guitar Gathering Academies are a blast. She's done almost all of them. Yeah, Peg's one of our ones. She's done every one of these, and they are a lot of fun. It keeps you honest of going through material. We all say, yeah, I'd like to learn a few more tunes, but it's when you actually, okay, you got to learn it by Monday.
Yeah,
you got to learn it by Tuesday that you actually start, learning.
Absolutely,
doing the busy. If there's not a deadline on it, sometimes you kind of lose the lose the oomph of doing it.
I've gotten to be a part of 2 of those, like you said, but I haven't seen the rest of the Guitar Academy, except for like when guys come in like me and give a presentation or whatever you want, a master class, whatever you want to call it. So how does the rest of it work? Like just as in a quick zip up.
We
how
have
does the rest of your...
Well, we have 2 conferences. We have our summer conference and then our fall one. How the Guitar Gathering Academy goes is that's an email thing. So I record the lesson and they receive in their email box the lesson, and if there's I try and include accompaniment tracks and all kinds of stuff,
good.
and the PDF with it and all that sort of stuff. So they got everything they need, and then they work on it for the week, and then we have our Zoom sessions on Saturday or Monday, and how'd you guys do? Do you have any questions? Well, I've been struggling with this.
Right.
Okay, here's what you need to do to think about that, and then we start it again.
So is that kind of the same thing that happens at the conferences, like the summer conference? That
the
it's not
summer
guys like
conference
us?
And the summer conference and the fall Fingerstyle Retreat, we bring in folks, incredible folks like yourself, and teach classes. We do have some that are jam groups in the summer. In the summer conference, we have jam groups, which are a bunch of fun. I love that. We have where they'll get up and perform, and that happens at the fall Fingerstyle Retreat as well.
Cool.
Because folks like conquering. It's a big thing to conquer your fears and play in front of people.
Absolutely.
And you think that just because we do it a lot, we get over that. But I mean, I've played in huge things, and I'm sure you played in huge things too. You want to see me sweat? Put me in a songwriter's circle.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's when
absolutely.
It's just 4 bar stools up there.
Yeah. That was why I wrote Granny's Got a Mustang, literally, because I have a friend named Jen Bostic who's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
You know her? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she's got this song that she wrote about her father who passed away in a car wreck when she was a child.
Yeah.
It's called Jealous of the Angels, and it's
Yeah.
amazing, and it hit #1 probably 4 times now in the UK. I mean,
Yeah.
it's massive tune, and it will make the grownest of grown mans cry.
Yeah.
Listen to that song. And every doggone time I'm to Jen's left. So, and they go from right to left.
Yep.
So I've got to play a song after that, and I was like, the only way I can overcome this is with a funny song.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
That's what Granny's Got a Mustang has turned in for me. My saving grace to hide me from Jen's amazing songwriting.
Yes. But it's funny how nerves and being nervous when performing is a big deal. That
Absolutely.
You have to conquer.
Yeah, and oddly enough, it wasn't a thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, when I decided that I knew I was going to do this playing for a living, kind of thing. I was really young. I don't remember exactly age, 10, somewhere between 10 and 12. And they had a local group called the Lions Club in my hometown that had what they called a minstrel, which sounds really weird these days because I haven't seen them around anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's a very old idea of things. Anyway, I went there and played this rendition of Tennessee Waltz that Marlon Rood taught me when I was a kid. And it was just me. I walked out there with my dad's 67 Martin guitar, and I played that. And before I went on, my dad was like, do you need to wipe your hands or anything? Your hands sweaty? I was like, no, it makes my hands slide better. But I walked out there, played all by myself, had a blast, and they turned the lights on, and everybody stood up in the theater with a balcony and everything. And I was like,
fun.
that's it for me, man. This is what I'm doing.
That's what I want to do. Yeah.
And then I slept on everybody's couch
There you go. There
for
you
a
go.
long time.
Before we get going on some of the style things that I wanted to ask you about, if you guys have questions out there, please, if you can, put them in all caps so that we can see the questions, and we'll try and get Bart to answer some of these questions before we run out of time here. We were talking a little bit about getting some of the sounds of these different folks. So now that you got a Strat, you got your gear down here.
Yep, absolutely. I don't need much gear, but like you were talking about Jimmy Vaughan.
Jimmy Vaughan.
That was the one that I had to switch for because it's the middle pickup is the Jimmy Vaughan pickup for me.
Yep.
And that. You know. It was where Stevie came from, so there was a lot of that because Stevie always thought so highly of Jimmy. Yeah. And he's a phenomenal guitar player. Yeah. But that was kind of the difference in Jimmy and him, and I think Jimmy most of the time plays with his index finger.
Wow.
A lot of times he does anyway. Which I can't really do very good. So I'm a pick guy. But then Stevie would do that kind of thing, you know, with a little more neck pickup, a little more girth to it, and
you're just
hard.
Picking hard down strokes.
That's where all that wear on his guitar came from. Is just, you know, just playing like that, scratching from the bottom to the top of the guitar with every pick stroke.
I mean, it's not just picking hard. It's when you put that much force against the pick on the string kind of slaps against the neck. Yeah. And you get this spank in the sound.
Exactly. I mean, you can hear that hit the fretboard. Yeah. You know, and it's really about
what kind. You're using what is that? Tortex turtle?
Yeah,
sort of
the purple one. I don't remember what the number is. Yeah, it's super heavy.
Heavy.
I mean, I've grew up playing bluegrass, so I can't really get away. I've tried to play with lighter picks for sessions and stuff to get that, but I just end up holding this one lighter, you know, and doing that. But yeah, I'm a heavy strings, heavy pick guy.
So you said 13s?
That's what I played for years, because I was only playing Strats. Yeah. For a really long time. And then when I went, I won the Albert King Award for Best Blues Guitar Player in 2012. Yeah. And the trophy for that was a 335 that they had just made in Memphis, dot neck, and it was amazing. And I'd always wanted one, couldn't buy one. Yeah. And when I got that, I put my strings on it, and it just choked it to death. It sounded terrible. Yeah. And so then I tuned them down a half step, and now it was a little better, and put 12s on there, a little better. Put 11s on it, and it just, whoop, it opened right up. Yeah. So I started playing it a lot, and I would switch between Strat and that in my shows and stuff with my band. And that switch messed me up so bad because I was so used to that. I mean, that was a 26 gauge G string that I was using, unwound. And so that's a lot. I mean, you unwound that to string the guitar, and it stood straight out.
Yeah,
it was a lot of string. But that was it. It was so easy to beat on, and I grew up. I learned all that stuff on a Martin D18, like I was saying. So I was doing this with 13s on a Martin. You know, that was how I learned it until I got my electric. So it made me play in tune. And
for the uninitiated. That's really tough. That's really tough to do.
Yeah, yeah. It'll give you man hands real
There
quick.
you go. I remember we did a show with Johnny Island.
Yeah.
And he was doing his little bit, his
Yeah.
bends. He went all the way down here to the second, he's bending a whole step at the second fret on third string.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
That'll nearly slice you open. No joke. Yeah.
Good.
What else? Oh, the Buddy's a good strat
Yeah, and
one,
so
too.
I had a couple.
He's another one of those quack guys, but pretty poor guy. His tone, never was the best in my opinion, but that's another gnarly bend too that
Yeah.
all those guys do is the index finger, which mine's really shot now because of it. But
Okay, so you're bending. So what's that? A step and a half, or
just one step.
but with your index?
Yeah, just your index finger, which is not. It's not
That's tough.
preferable.
Yeah, yeah.
I've ruined many a fingernail. That's another cool going to the 4 lick that I always talk about with people too is a different way of. Just that one little. That index finger bend up a whole step to get to the 4.
Yeah.
Which can be a blues lick or it can be a country lick.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. But you can wear out your index finger real quick if you really get into those though.
Do you guys have any questions for Bart before we start landing this ship? Brian says, when you going to stop talking and play your
Yeah.
guitar? All right. We will get back to playing here in a second. If you do have a question, type it in, and we will try and do it. Make sure, and we're scroll all the way down there. There you go. Okay. All right. Well, if you have a question, let us know. Maybe we can play a little bit. That's a good suggestion.
Yeah, let's do it. What you want to play this time?
As we've done something fast, we've done something medium, maybe we can do something slow.
All right, you want to go B flat?
B flat, pick
That's one of my
pick
favorite
again.
because it's right in the
Okay.
middle. And keyboard players love it.
You start it off, and I'll join in.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Yes. Wow. I don't want to stop.
I know.
I don't want to stop. Okay, we had a couple of questions. Keith is saying, do you play any acoustic? I know that you do.
Very much so.
You don't. I mean, we're 5 feet away from an acoustic, but because you do a lot of bluegrass stuff.
Yeah, that was where I was born and raised. I didn't know there was any such a thing as anything else really at least for the first 5 or 8 years of me playing.
Yeah.
That was all I did. I grew up with Cody Kilby and Andy Leftwich, those guys. Matter of fact, Cody, we would do all the competitions, as kids.
Yeah.
And he's a little bit older than me. I think maybe 1 year or 2 years older than me. And he would win first, and I would win second every freaking year. I mean, every year. And then he finally aged out, and so I won first place, and I was like, fine, I quit. I'm out. And but yeah, he's one of my favorite. Brian Sutton and him, and a couple of the best turns in the whole wide world. Yeah, that's a cool guitar there.
We've George Groon handed us this. Maybe I can get you to. We'll just have to do this with the vocal mic, so we'll have to do the best we can. Thought maybe you could play a bluegrass lick or two on the official new Veristar Versitar guitar by George Groon. Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Gorgeous.
So yeah, I love playing the acoustic. This is what I play around the house all the time.
Yeah.
Tony Rice and Doc Watson were my two first guitar heroes.
Yeah.
All that stuff all that Tony Rice stuff was really mind blowing to me. That was the way Tony would play that too. He was always just so mesmerizing to me.
Yeah.
And then he went so jazz too at the same time, which is way over my head.
Yeah.
I'm a meat fister guitar player, not so much an intelligible one.
Gosh, we got to land. We got to end.
Yeah, sorry. Thanks so much for having me, man. This has been really incredible.
For being here, Bart. What
Absolutely.
a joy. If folks want to get in touch with you, they can hook up with you on Instagram.
Yep, Instagram, Facebook, everything's just under my name, Bart Walker or Bart Walker Music. That's what it is everywhere. So you can hit me up on there or YouTube as well.
And the guitar instruction stuff.
Yeah, that's badassguitarschool.com.
Yeah.
And it also has a YouTube channel that has a discount code on there if you want to go and check that out.
Wonderful. Thank you, Bart, for taking.
Absolutely.
I was so glad that we could get you. I thought surely you'd be on the road, but
well,
we caught you in between tours. So
good thing there's a Tuesday night.
There you go. Hey, keep up the great work in your learning. Thanks for being part of our guitar family. We will see you guys. Next week, we will have a live lesson. And then I also wanted to mention, in 2 weeks, we've got a crazy one that just came together today. There's a Brazilian group, Choro das Three. And they're huge in Brazil, and it's wild. So they're going to be here with us on October 10th. So I'm so excited that worked out. Thank you to all of you that gave. It really does help with everything. It's a blessing getting put all the stuff on for you. Learn all you can. Keep up the practicing. It's just a little bit each day. That's going to be the key to getting you where you want to go.
That's what I always say is 5 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And I normally say that because by the time you got to 5 minutes, you're having fun. So you're going to play for longer.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. We'll see you guys next time.